The part of tax season nobody prepares you for. Let's talk about it. Hey, Tax Besties, it's your favorite tax girly here, Tia, coming to y'all with my first video in my HerTaxPro Diaries channel. We created this channel to be able to hold space and conversation for tax pros who are ready to elevate their brand, ready to increase their income, and really skill beyond survival mode. And of course, I'll be bringing in that tax tea as we go along in our series. So if you feel like this is somewhere where you need to be, make sure you subscribe and yes, support your girl. So let's get into the part of tax season that nobody prepares you for. And yeah, after tax season, people talk about the money, they talk about this high, they talk about working 4 months out the year, but no one talks about what life looks like post tax season. It's almost like shunned in a way, where it's kind of hidden under a rug. And the reality is, post tax season, you deal with so much exhaustion. Even in my own experience this year, some of the things that frustrated me was the level of impatience of some clients, especially when they had multiple years or were really, really like difficult returns or document heavy returns. Another thing that frustrated me is these client threats. Like threatening, oh, we're going to leave you bad reviews, or we're going to not refer people to you because I am not bowing down to your demands. I'm not going to give you documentation before an invoice is due. I'm not going to lower my price because you feel like I need to be at this point. And if those are reasons, me standing on business, if those are the reasons why you want to leave a 1-star review, go ahead, because there's nowhere in no time or existence will I ever give you or service you without getting payment. So yes, frustrating to say the least. But what I also do with my frustrations, and I've just learned over the years, is that every frustration, one, is short lived, it's just an emotion. But then, two, once I get through that moment of frustration, I take the time to really think about, okay, now that I've gotten through this frustration, I need to figure out a solution. And for 90% of the things that myself or my staff are frustrated with, we do have the ability post season to sit down and brainstorm and figure out what the solution are when it comes to these things so that we don't have to deal with them next year. And I think what amazes me is that we always talk about in our industry, like how to get more clients, but we never talk about how to build better systems to support those clients that we want so badly. So, for example, One of the things that I don't think there ever will be any time where there is not going to be something that I can't improve. But what I would say for you is that if you dealt with frustrations this tax season, take the time to write those frustrations down. If it was mental exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, constant communication with clients and messaging, as I mentioned, yes, those are frustrating factors, but they all have solutions. For example, the constant messaging and emailing and texting from clients, you can set up an AI system now that can respond and give basic information about your business, so that the client will know, oh, okay, well, this is how I go and check my refund, or this is how I go in and gather my files. The other thing with the emotional and mental load, maybe you need an extra assistant, maybe you need a frontline person, maybe you need an individual to kind of be like that filtration person between you and yourself and the client, or maybe it's you, another person, that this information has to be filtered through, like maybe a three-tiered system. Another reason that I see, and this was me as well when it comes to like mental frustration and like emotional load, is that we really don't have boundaries when it comes to a lot of these clients. They're calling anytime, they're texting anytime. Like, being more firm on your boundaries will immediately bring you like so much peace and rest. So, yeah, I can work up until 12 o'clock, but I'm not going to be responding to text messages and emails up until 12 o'clock. Making sure you have one streamlined way of communication so that they know this is the email to use, this is the phone number to use, these are the times that we're in operation. And I've met so many tax girlies, especially like solo preneurs, that just don't set the boundaries, and it has caused so much mental frustration and mental load for them. Setting in automations when it comes to your clients, letting systems do a lot of that work for you when it comes to follow up, when it comes to appointments, maybe when it comes to promotions. But then also with your staff, know yourself. Like, I know that I am not a micromanager. So, one of the things I look for when I'm hiring staff is people who can truly work independently, and also people who are innovative, meaning I want you to feel like my company is also your company, and pour into it the same way you would pour into your own company. And so with that, those people are, one, more committed. Two, if they do see an issue and you don't have the brain capacity to figure it out, they're able to jump in and offer solutions. And only thing you have to do is choose between, maybe two or three. And just honestly speaking, I did have a point where I hired like an office manager, and she literally only did what she was supposed to do. And was that a problem? No. But I had to know myself, and I had to know that I needed someone that was more innovative. And I don't know why, but it kind of bothered me to know that when I said, hey, what are your goals and what are your ambitions? And she's like, yeah, I really don't have anything. That was a little bit it's kind of scary for me, because it's like you come here every day and you literally don't do anything unless I say to do it, or you only do the things that you know you have to do, which means that if I've stepped away, or if something happened to me, or if I need to be gone for extended period of time, I can't trust that my business is going to run efficiently, because you do not bring that skill set of ownership and leadership to the table in the capacity, or at least in within the position that you are responsible for. So just knowing yourself, knowing how to recruit people to fill in those weaknesses will avoid, or will reduce a lot of that post tax season stress. And then let's be honest, another reason why we have post tax season stress, and I realize this with a lot of the women that I mentor, is really because you didn't charge enough. You really did not charge enough. What I mean by that is, if you undercharge and someone's extremely needy and they're calling and they're texting you, and there's a high level of communication, and you're not like these other tax preparers, you don't disappear after April 15th, you actually communicate and keep your inbox open throughout the whole year, you're going to feel drained, because now you feel like the value that you have given is worth more than you're receiving. And I have realized that once you increase your value, what your worth is, what your time is worth, what your services are worth, just that alone alleviates a lot of stress. I had a mentee and I kept telling her to raise her prices, and she didn't. And she always just felt so exhausted. And so we did a comparative analysis like, hey, this is what you're doing and offering your clients, and you brought in this amount. And then when we compared it to like what the industry standard was, she missed out on like $22,000. And you're offering so much of yourself to these clients. And that's really another reason why burnout happens, because you don't feel compensated. You feel cheated. And then you don't feel motivated to show up for your clients anymore. That's why I don't sit there and lie to myself anymore. I don't do a lot of promotions and things anymore, because I know what my motivation level is and the thing that motivates and gets me started, and it is definitely being a provider. So if I know that I'm giving so much and I'm only getting paid $99, I that would be very frustrating for me. And that would be a lot of mental load, because now I'm thinking about how much I could have gotten, what I actually got paid. And then now I'm kind of committed to this process for the whole year. So, yeah, this is what this channel is going to be about. We're going to take these issues, take these frustrations. Let me know what your frustration was this tax season in the chat below. Like, this is going to be a safe space for us to have those conversations. But then also, I'm going to bring content to you on how to fix these things, how to grow your business, how to build a firm foundation. It's no gatekeeping. It's no, hey, click on this link. It's none of that. Whatever you need, whatever the issue is, if I have it, or if I know someone that does know how to do it, I want to bring that into this channel. I want this to be a community of transparency. I don't want the gatekeeping. I don't want the partial information. We're not doing any of that. So make sure you guys lock in with me, because we're going to be going through this step by step, and we're going to be taking this journey so that everyone can get to six figures and beyond. So yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Until then, see y'all next time. Keep elevating.